Hey everybody, this is Finley Watkins, and thank you for joining us this week on the ETA Files. Let's rock and roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this week on ETA Files. Special guest, the one and only Finley Watkins. I think the youngest guest we've had so far on ETA Files. Man, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So, I don't get out that much. The truth of the matter is I just don't get out that much. But I found out about you. A lot of people talk about you. And I said, well, I got to check this out. Come to find out that you are a supremely young buck, supremely talented. You're only 4 hours away. You're in Bernie, Missouri, not that far, but people know you, man, all across the country and probably the world starting out. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I started doing this whenever I was only 4 years old. I actually saw a billboard of Elvis is how I got inspired, and I was already playing guitar. And man, I've been doing it ever since, nonstop. Through every point of my life, I've been doing it. So I've been doing it a lot longer than I haven't been doing it in my life, that's for sure. And I've had a great time doing it so far. Man, I got to go all over the country, and I'm only 8 years old, going out to California for the first time and stuff like that I never could have imagined happening. And there's so many great opportunities that I'm really thankful for.
So, I mean, come on, you see a billboard and then boom, it just happens. I mean, is that like really
That's
it?
really about how it happened. Yeah, we was going to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and we passed through Memphis. That's only 2 hours from my house, about.
Yeah.
So I saw the Graceland billboard. I asked my mom who it was. I was already into music at the time. I'd already started playing guitar and stuff like that for about 6 months. And so I asked my mom who it was, and I had my little iPad first generation or whatever it was back then. And I started watching as many Elvis videos as I could get my hands on. And then a year I had my first jumpsuit and was getting at it.
That's crazy, man. I mean, that's awesome. What age did you start playing the guitar?
I was still 4, but just when I turned 4, I started playing guitar. Yeah.
So you're like, like kindergarten, maybe even a little bit before.
It was before kindergarten. Yeah. I actually, I dyed my hair right before kindergarten because that was my first Elvis week when I competed in the youth contest at Images. So it's been black ever since. I'm actually blonde headed. So
that's funny, man. That's got to be, that's got to be interesting for a kindergarten teacher. I'm just saying. That's awesome. Okay. So this is fun. This is a lot of fun. You got a musical family. I mean, how many 4-year-old kids are starting to play guitar?
My dad is a musician. He wasn't around a lot when I was a kid, but he was around him some, and I think it's some of the inspiration came from that. But I've always just been intrigued by music from a young age, and same with my brother. He's a fantastic drummer, and we've always loved the music for sure.
Awesome. Do you have a band, you and your brother?
Yeah, we do. And actually, whenever I do some of my band Elvis shows, he plays drums now too. We did that a month ago, but we also do some country stuff and something like that around here with my dad as well.
All right. And how older brother, younger brother?
Yeah. He's 19.
Okay. So that's pretty awesome, man. And from what I understand, you're musically not just, I play guitar. No, you're like a good guitar player. You're musically talented. Do you play other instruments?
Yeah, I play 8 different instruments.
What do you play?
I play guitar, bass, drums, ukulele, harmonica, tenor sax, bari sax, and harmonica.
You said harmonica twice.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah.
I got lost then. Maybe I'm missing. I know there is 8 now. It's a long list. So
That's awesome, man. Piano?
Yeah, piano. That's the one I was missing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. That's interesting, man. So, and I understand you've actually filled in and played for some of the Elvis Tribute artist bands, actually, haven't you?
Yeah. I've done that quite a few times for some of Cody Dannett's events and his festivals, and was playing a clam bake and stuff last month or a couple months ago.
Dude, that's incredible. You're 16 years old and you're doing something that like a lot of people, aspire to do like all their lives. And a lot of really older folks are actually doing what you're doing. And here you are 16 years old, just killing it.
Oh, thank you, man.
As far as the Elvis side of it, the performance side, performing the character of Elvis, what do you like more? is you like the playing? Do you like the performing as Elvis? Do you like doing both at the same time? What is it that you like best?
I'm most drawn to performing as Elvis. I think it's what, bit the bug bit most of us, in that regard. And I love doing I've actually played drums and sometimes in some ETA bands and stuff like that, and filled on bass and stuff like that too. And that's all fun because I love the music. Actually, for a lot of my track shows, I make a lot of my own tracks. So I can kind of do both there. I'm making the music behind it and performing it, which is always really fun. But I'm definitely most drawn to performing and as Elvis for sure.
That's interesting. You kind of remind me this is high praise. If you're not familiar, you kind of remind me of like a young version of like one of the legends in the business, Rick Saucedo.
Oh yeah, man,
dude,
he's incredible.
Rick is like, he was doing it when he was performing on Broadway in '72 when Elvis was, in his prime. But
then he had a solo career in his own and everything. What a talent he is.
But he is so musically talented, like yourself. And that's the thing that's interesting. Something that Rick did that I love. In fact, we played some of his music on his episode. And you listen to that Memphis I'm Coming Home song and you can't get it out of your head. It's incredible. Do you go down that path? I mean, I'm thinking like, dude, you're 16 years old. You have the potential with your musicality. You have the potential to go out there and say, hey, I'm Finley Watkins. I'm not just, an Elvis tribute artist. What's your thoughts on that?
I hear that a lot and that's something I'm definitely am interested in. And I do some, portions of my own shows around here and stuff where I do, an hour as myself at the end or in the beginning or something like that. And I do have a good time with that, but there's nothing that's quite as fun for me as putting on the jumpsuit and going out there and doing Elvis. It's really what I have the most fun doing.
I got you. Okay, so you say you really enjoy doing the Elvis stuff, and I get it, man. I totally understand what you're saying. But that being said, I mean, you can do Elvis anytime you want. There's not a lot of opportunities and chances to just be yourself. And the thing about being yourself is, you can be influenced by Elvis and the things that you enjoy about Elvis, you can bring into what you do as Finley. I mean, that's to me, I can't, I can't look past the fact of how much opportunity is in front of you because of your youth and your talent.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I want you to embrace it, man. I want you to grab it. So you say that, putting on that jumpsuit, you're 16 years old. I mean, Elvis didn't start wearing the jumpsuit until he was in his 30s, What's your thoughts on that? Is it just that music inspires you more?
Yeah, I do all eras and for sure. But I have the most fun doing 70s for sure. And, with makeup and things like that, you can push the age a little bit. Obviously, I don't look in my 30s, but maybe in my early 20s or something like that. And, and I just have the most fun really doing that. That's what really strikes me the most.
All right. But you also do 50s?
Yeah, 50, 68. I do it. Do all the eras.
Movies, all that stuff, huh?
Yeah, all the eras for sure.
How many songs do you think you know?
Oh, man, I couldn't tell you between all the country stuff that I do. I mean, some shows around here I don't do any Elvis and with my band and stuff and do all country and blues and do a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan and stuff like that and B.B. King and on the countryside, Merle Haggard, all that good stuff. Yeah. So all that combined with all the Elvis stuff, I couldn't put an estimate on it.
What about Elvis songs? Guess maybe a couple hundred?
I don't know. Yeah, probably something like that. Probably 300, something like that.
Yeah, probably 300.
200. Something.
350. 4. That's awesome, man. Is there something about the 70s? Is it Elvis's voice? Is it a little bit more maturity in the music? What is it you think that draws you to the 70s?
I think for sure a lot of it is like you said, the maturity of the music. The arrangements are so cool. His voice is obviously so much more developed. And There's a lot more footage, so you can get a lot more precise about the way you do it, which is something I really enjoy. It's such a shame there's not more footage of the '50s because we have all these pictures of him in these different poses and stuff. And it's like, well, what could he be doing?
How did he get there?
Yeah.
What happened right after this?
Yeah, and that's just so interesting. But '70s are such a vast amount of 8 millimeter footage and stuff like that you can study and watch and try to get
and the even the bootlegs, the bootleg audio.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, those sold out volumes, they have 10 hours of footage on them.
Yeah.
And that you can get locked into that for sure. So I find that really enjoyable to study that stuff.
Right. It is funny, man. Elvis had, and listen, if you've ever been in a photo shoot or whatnot, or had someone at an event taking pictures of you, they might take 200 pictures and only one or two of them are really good. And I know that's the pictures we see of Elvis, but gosh darn it.
I know.
He looks
There's no bad
good.
ones.
He looks good in everything,
It's true.
And I mean, I've even tested this where back in the day when it was on like VCR, like watching Elvis 56 on, a VCR and then just pausing it when he's in the middle of a movie and his face, he still looks good. It's like, oh, that's a good picture,
I agree.
It's a weird thing. Test that out. Like, go to YouTube and test out a live performance video of Elvis. He doesn't have any of those. I mean, I've got some horrible looking photos out there.
No, me too.
Singing or whatever. And he always looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. That's awesome. But
I don't either. Yeah.
What's a kind of like, I asked this, but I am curious because I'm waiting on a different answer. Maybe I will get one. Maybe I won't. You, with all your musical knowledge and whatnot, what's your favorite Elvis song? Not to sing or perform, but just like your favorite song.
Well, I never really have a clear answer like most people, but for the last few months, I've really been into "What Now, My Love." That has just really been, and that's one I don't ever hear people say hardly, but I can't stop listening to that one.
Dude, that drive on that.
Yeah, and then they build it up. You think it's going to get big, and then it just softens back down. And the orchestra is really playing some cool stuff behind them, and it's a really neat song.
Have you ever heard the Sonny and Cher original version of that?
No, I haven't.
I think it's Sonny and Cher that did it originally,
really?
Which is
I haven't.
Wild to think of, right? Sonny and Cher?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. When we're done, go listen to that and be like, Elvis did a good job. Do you think, what about, just to perform? Sometimes that's a different song, is there a different song that you like to
really
perform?
To me just depends on the crowd, You get some crowds that are really listening crowds and really appreciate the vocals and the power ballads or even the softer stuff in the 50s and whatnot. And there's some crowds you get that they don't care. They want to hear the movers. So that really to me just varies.
Yeah. Is there any really kind of cool gems out there of songs that you've discovered, in the Elvis world that you really like?
Really, most of the Fun in Acapulco soundtrack I really got into. I like it's really random, but like Bullfighter Was a Lady is one that I love to do, and it's just really random. But Vino De Niro, Why I'm More, the crowd loves that song when I do it. Yeah, it's so upbeat and different.
That's awesome. That's different.
Yeah.
You ever hear the movie version of I'll Remember You? I forget what movie it was from.
I don't remember what movie either. But yeah, I have. Yeah, it's beautiful. Really, it's a lot softer for sure.
It's so different. Like I'll Remember You was great during Aloha. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But man, you listen to that original one, you're like, this might be the most beautiful song Elvis ever sang. I mean,
I always found that so strange why he brought that one out for Aloha.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the choices
on a lot of the set lists, and then it's just randomly there.
Some of the, and even the added songs. Early Morning Rain they had, a couple of them. It was just kind of different how, anyway, cool stuff. Yeah. So where do you, you're doing this, you obviously got decades. I mean, think about it. You're 16 in 4 years. I'll be 56. So like, and you have like 36 in 36 years, no, 46 years. Yeah, 46 freaking years. Think about that. You'll be my age.
Wow. Yeah.
Or wait, 46, 56. Boy, I'm no 36. 36 years,
Yeah.
you'd be my age. But still,
Yeah.
36 years, you'd be my age.
That's
And
a
I
long
mean,
time. Yeah.
I'm still doing it. And so, like, you have like a massive amount of time here that you could be
Mhm.
doing this, and you've already
Sure.
been doing it over half of your life, you know? So,
Yeah.
what is, I mean, have you thought about that? Have you thought about like, hey, I could take this wherever I want. I could build something. Is there like a goal in mind? Because, you know, not a lot of guys have the opportunity to do that. You do.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think about it a lot, really, and it's hard to predict, because so much will change, and whatnot. But my goal into my 20s and stuff, I'd really like to just create my own take on it and do my own production show. That's like I really get into a lot of create my own arrangements and medleys and stuff like that within the show, and I'd really like to work on that and be able to take that on tour and stuff like that.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of, I mean, do you have a relationship with Elvis Presley Enterprises?
A little bit. I did their performing arts camp when I was younger, and I actually got to perform during the Ultimate whenever I was like 10 or something. It was pretty fun. And I've done some shows at the Guest House Theater. I had Dean Z Unplugged. I did that a couple times, and I was in the Next Generation show they had there.
Yeah. So, like, you ever think of talking to them about? I mean, I remember back in the day. I don't know if you remember. Maybe not. Elvis Presley's Memphis restaurant, which is now where the Hard Rock is downtown on Beale Street.
I've heard of it. I wasn't
Yeah.
alive when it was around, but
Then they had, gosh, what was the name of the trio, the rockabilly trio? The Dempseys would perform there all the time, and they weren't necessarily like doing all Elvis stuff. It was just kind of a rockabilly thing.
yeah,
But man, they were like the house band and the house singers, and man, and then they could go tour too and whatnot. But
yeah,
they got really big because of that. You know, just performing
yeah.
at the restaurant. Do you ever think of, you know, doing anything or contacting Elvis Presley Enterprises and just especially being so young and talented?
I'd love to do something like that. Yeah, I've never really considered that, but that would be something that'd be really cool for sure.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think you should.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just see like, you know, there's opportunities for someone like you to like do something that no one else has done. You know, we look at
Yeah.
we look at some guys in this business. You know, Rick Sacido did stuff that other people didn't do, and Tony Roy did that, and
Oh yeah.
you know. But then there's like, you know, Dean Z has done stuff that nobody else has done.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But there's a lot out there left to be done, especially with someone who's, you know, and like Dean, you're musically talented too, you know, that's huge. So
Yeah, it's certainly helpful for sure.
all right, yeah. So what do you call like a normal day, Finley? I mean, what do you do? I mean, are you still you're still in school?
Yeah, this past year was my last year doing public high school. I'm going to move to a virtual school program in the next 2 years. Hopefully, I can get done in just a year because I was having to make up all the hours that I missed, and that was quite a few hours.
Right.
I did like 5 or 6 Cody's festivals last year or something like that, and then I had to make up like 72 hours of school or something. So that was a lot of staying after on the weekends and on Sundays, and I was off and stuff like that.
Right.
But right now, since I'm in the summer and what'll continue into the virtual school program is, I work on a lot of my music stuff throughout the day for sure, my shows and getting prepared because I try to stay booked most, Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays and sometimes Thursdays and randomly throughout the week. So, just right now I'm just resting while I'm home and, working on my shows and whatnot.
Mostly gigs with your band, with your brother?
No, those are really just more occasional. I do my Elvis track show around here a lot at different venues, different halls and rooms and stuff like that. But then sometimes we do we have one coming up in a week or two. I think with that, it's my brother, my dad. We do a trio and doing the country stuff, but it's primarily the Elvis stuff around here.
Yeah,
that we're doing. But I usually do include about an hour of my own stuff into it.
Okay, that's cool.
At the end or the beginning.
Right. How far do you travel for these shows? When you say around here, is it all within town, or do you have like a?
Well, I live in a very small town, 2,000 people, not much going on around here. So I have to go out. And you might have heard like Cape Girardeau and areas like that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of shows there, and in Sykeston, I do some shows there, and into Arkansas. Doing a lot of county fairs over the summer,
Yeah.
which are really fun to do. Those always draw a big crowd and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we've been all over Arkansas doing those. We have 7 or 8 county fairs lined up this summer.
Yeah. Is it all going to be just you or some band ones too?
No, those ones are just me. We did a car show last month. That was a full band show.
Right.
And we brought in everybody. And those are always really fun, but a lot of stress for sure.
Yeah. I got you, man. And is it the typical, 2 1-hour sets or whatever, like they want you to do?
Yeah, typically something like that. I did a 50 set and a jumpsuit set.
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah, I've got a couple. So I work at Legends in Concert in Branson.
But
yeah,
I've seen you there.
I'm like off. Let's see, July and August, and basically the first half of September too, because we're bringing in a 50s, or I'm sorry, not a 50s, an 80s show to the theater. So I'm going back on the road this summer a little bit, and I do have some of the and I came up that way, fairs and festivals, fairs, festivals, casinos, and man, you make great money doing it. And I'm kind of looking forward to. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of cool and old school. You know what I mean?
It is, yeah.
And it's not
a time capsule.
Yeah, and I've been blessed to do some and really get coddled, and at a casino gig, and they but man, there's something really cool too about getting out there in the hot heat, in the summer and going out and singing some songs, man. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I had a really fun one this past Saturday. I was opening for T.G. Shepherd.
Oh, that's awesome.
At a fair around here, and that was really cool.
That's awesome. And T.G. Shepherd, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, some good songs.
Yeah. What about, so you've got, for as young as you are, you've got a decent amount of, performance experience, stage time. It sounds like you're getting it weekly, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Which is going to bode well for you in the future. But just like everything, stage time comes things that happen. There's always like a funny story, a bad story, something embarrassing happened, or something funny with the audience or something bad with the audience. Is there any kind of story like that you have in your experience that's just like, oh, this one was wild?
I don't have any that are like particularly wild that I can think of.
No, nothing at all.
Not really. No, I have a lot of little ones, but nothing that's.
Give me one.
Well, for example, this past Saturday we was at this outdoor event opening for T.G. Shepherd, and before the show it just rained and rained and rained, and then the sound guys and his band and everybody sound checking kept coming up with their muddy shoes onto the stage, so the stage was just like mud pretty much. They was trying to mop it down and stuff like that, and I went down for the the splits on Suspicious Minds. And I got down fine. I was all clear. But when I tried to get back up in the mud, and it wasn't so clean. It was pretty slick. It was pretty slick. And also, it would rain so much that the roof of the stage had started to leak. So not only was it 95 degrees, and I was pouring sweat, there was water continually falling. Oh man, it was something.
Damn, those were the best. I love those.
Yeah.
I remember doing a fair. Actually, it was, and I not speaking bad for everybody out there. Don't write in and yell at me, but there's a place in Pennsylvania called Knoebels, and it's just kind of like a little amusement park. And the band shell where you would play, man, it was full of bats. Okay.
Oh,
so like the daytime shows, no problem, but you start doing the nighttime shows. And the bats start coming around. All right. And they are dive bombing you. You don't even realize it because the people out there in the audience can see it more because you got a spotlight on you. But every once in a while, man, you see them just through the side of your vision and whatnot. Oh, Not
Any of them
fun.
try to come up on you?
No, but man, you could hear them and they're just, and you hear the flying around and it's like they're buzzing you, you know?
I would not like that. I
No,
don't like that.
no, of course not. Oh, yeah. But I'm sure. And that's what's kind of funny about this year. Going back and doing it, you know, it's been a blessing to work with Legends in Concert and that work in casinos and these, you know, amazing fairs and festival gigs. But like every once in a while, man, getting back to the roots of what got you there, getting out in the sun and sweating and, you know, being out of breath and all that's kind of,
it's fun for sure. And the crowds are great. And like you said, the money's great and they're really good times for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. And that's the other thing that's funny, man. Just as hot as you are on stage, you're usually in the shade a little bit at least. I mean, they're out there in their lawn chairs just roasting. I feel so bad when sometimes, and I've had fairs and festivals, man. There's one fair called the Bloomsburg Fair, and 2 years in a row, Finley, 2 years in a row, the same dude had a grand mal seizure front and center of this massive audience.
No.
During Love Me Tender, both times.
The same song.
Same song, same guy, same place, grand mal seizure. Dude, you can't make that stuff up, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane. Did you go back the third year and do Love Me Tender again? Or
we went back the third year and literally did not do Love Me Tender for that reason. And that dude was there that day. That dude was there. And we didn't do it because we saw him. We were like, no. It's something about that song. I don't know, Jay. And then, I mean, just dude, by the time this episode comes out, a couple weeks ago, I had, I was out in Salt Lake City and man, there was another band. I never played with them before, but a half an hour, it was an outdoor event too, but we had rehearsed 96 degrees outside, you know, in the afternoon. We rehearsed half an hour before the gig. Their bass player has a stroke. I mean, and it's just like, so the heat is real, you know, and God bless it, but I'm looking forward to it either way.
Yeah. So. It's cool for sure.
What do you think of, you know, you got a time machine there, Finley. You got a chance to go back and talk to Elvis Presley any year. Pick a year. You could travel back and you could talk to him for an hour. When would you travel back to? What year? And you know, what would you talk to Elvis Presley about?
I thought a lot about this question because I've been asked it several times in interviews and stuff, and I really think that I would go back to around 1954 or something like that because there's not hardly any interviews with him then. You know, there's not much documentation of what he was really like before the fame or in the start of his fame. So I think it'd be really cool to go back to the beginning of his career and talk to him about what he envisioned his life being like. And just getting to see how he was then, you know, because it's very interesting to me. I've always been fascinated by that.
Yeah. One of the fascinating things that I was fortunate enough to kind of, experience, God rest his soul, DJ Fontana, who's now gone. So, you know, God rest his soul. I had the opportunity, though, to get to know DJ Fontana pretty well. Great guy. And, but one of the things that he would talk about are those early days. Of course, he met Elvis, Scotty and Bill at the Louisiana Hayride. And it was a weird thing back then to have a drummer, you know. You didn't see that a lot, especially in country music and whatnot. So, you know, bringing DJ on was a new thing, but the way he talked about Elvis was, you know, he was kind of like just one of the boys, a little different, but like, he was just one of the guys. Certainly didn't look at himself, you know, as like better than them or anything like that. They were friends. And, but yeah, it's kind of interesting, you know, if they had to fight, he was ready to fight, you know, and if so there's like some real cool stories that he would talk about like that. So kind of cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. And think about, here you are, 16 years old. Elvis, 16 years old, Humes High School, it's probably probably this was the point where, he was hanging around with his guitar and, going down to to see the Blackwoods sing and, wanting to try out for being a gospel quartet and them saying, hey, you know what, you're not a good enough singer and stuff. So, I mean, you have the opportunity to live some of this early stuff.
This area around me was, his hot spot for sure. One of them, Arkansas, and a lot of the towns I go to. I mean, Elvis played a high school there in '55.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Stuff. I would have loved to have been back then. Kind of like you said. Not only that, but also just by nature of some of the history and whatnot that I research, I would have loved to have been around in that, 1945 to 1955, time era.
Yeah.
That would have been something special. And that's like where you would have been if you were Elvis's age, like right now is that time frame. Yeah. And just a lot going on in the world and so many different ways. But I would have really enjoyed kind of just being back there at that time. And I mean, if you look at the history too, it was almost like a perfect storm. Elvis was made for that time.
I agree. That's just what that time needed to progress.
Right. Right. And in a similar way, the Beatles were made for 1964, it just was what it was. Totally different, but still they were made for that, and changed music themselves. Do you do any Beatles music?
No, it's not something I've really ventured out into a lot.
I never really got into the Beatles until there's a group that performs at Legends called Liverpool Legends. They're freaking phenomenal. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen their stuff. They're great. Yeah.
Their harmonies, you got he literally learned how to play left-handed bass like Paul McCartney. Dave, the guy that plays Paul McCartney. But I mean, they're just so stinking talented. It's unbelievable. And then, you listen to their music for a month straight and you're like, oh, I like that song. Oh, I like that song, And it is interesting too, some of the stuff with Elvis and the Beatles and, some of the crossover music, Get Back, Something, whatnot.
Yesterday.
Yeah. I still say Elvis should have never touched Hey Jude.
I agree.
I don't like his
not
version
one of
of
his best recordings.
That and I was saying this I think last week too, because it comes up. The first time ever I saw your face, okay, was not by Elvis. I didn't know Elvis did that song. Okay,
really.
The first time I heard it was a recording of George Michael. Okay, and this was not in his heyday in the 80s. This was something he did in the 90s, actually in the 2000s. And I mean, it is beautiful. Okay. The instrumentation, orchestration on it, his voice, he's an incredible vocalist anyways. But if anybody go out there and George Michael, First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, listen to it. And then imagine that is your standard for that song. And then imagine hearing Elvis's "The First Time I Saw Your Face." So yeah, just check that out. Kind of a dichotomy there, But anyway,
that's awesome.
Is there any songs that you think that you don't like that Elvis did? I mean, just kind of.
I have one in particular that's not a very common opinion, but I do not like Elvis's version of Danny Boy at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just. Not a fan, as always. And I hear it come on, I skip it.
I skip it. What's your nationality?
Not sure.
American.
American. Yeah.
I was just wondering if you were Irish, maybe, or had an opinion because of that. But okay, yeah, Danny boy. Don't tell Dan Barella that. Dan Barella. Oh, you know Dan Barella?
Yeah. On some of Nick Perkins events I did with Dan.
Yeah. Dan's a good mule. What do you think? What do you think of this thing they call the Elvis world? I mean, how do you fit into it? And how do you not fit into it? Because that's kind of one of the themes that we talk about on this particular program. You know, the Elvis world was started because fans of Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley's been gone longer than he was alive. You know, there's ETAs out there helping along with his fans keep the memory of Elvis alive, but it is slowly turning into, you know, an ETA world versus an Elvis world. What's your thoughts on all that?
I don't really like how some of the focus shifts away from Elvis for sure, but I have, you know, and on a different note, throughout the years, ever since I started doing this, I've, you know, felt so much response from these fans and stuff. You know, my first Elvis week, I was 6 years old, and it was back whenever Images of the King was at the New Daisy Theater.
Yeah.
And I placed second in the youth division that year, and the love I felt from the fans then, I think, is part of what got me so hooked.
Yeah.
So I've always loved going to, you know, the festivals and stuff like that and getting to perform for these massive amount of Elvis fans. But yeah, sometimes I do hate how the focus shifts a little bit away from Elvis, and it's more on, you know, you get to the standard where people think stuff the ETAs did is what Elvis did, and you know, you get all that confusion. They think you're not doing it right because you're doing it like Elvis and stuff like that, and that's always, you know, a little frustrating at times.
Yep. Trust me, I get a little sideways on it. Oh, by the way, before I even say this, who beat you in the youth competition, if I can ask? You remember?
It was Lane Crew. You know, he's in the Ultimate this year.
Yep, Lane Crew. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. That was 2014. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Crazy. So, you know, you get these, and it's awesome. It really is, because working with Legends in Concert, the best part about it has always been that it's not Elvis fans coming to see the show.
Yes, that is always fun. I like that about what I do around here too. You get a lot of that same type of thing.
That's awesome, because Elvis fans are one way. And I mean, you can go and perform for an Elvis crowd and it's easy. You know, it is. I like performing for these crowds that you have to win them over, you know, that it's more challenging. It's more fun, but you will get the person who comes up, you know, the drunk lady after the show who just like is belligerent and, you know, you didn't move your hips enough, you know, and, you know, and she's singing Can't Help Falling in Love, moving around, jiggling her hips and everything to Can't Help Falling in Love. And I'm like, that's not what the way it went, really. But, you know, you just can't. I know Elvis. You know,
I do build on what you said. I really do agree that it's a really rewarding feeling when you win over a crowd that they don't really care about Elvis at all, and you're winning them over through his music, but your own performer.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what's cool, and that's the best compliment. You know, a dude comes up after the show and says, "My wife drugged me here. You understand? I don't like Elvis, but I had a good time tonight. Thank you." Like, that's the best compliment you can get.
For sure.
How far around the U.S. have you gone to other countries? Anything like that?
Never other countries. The farthest out that I've ever been was back when I was on the TV shows, and I went out to California, and then I went to Vegas a couple times, and after those shows.
What TV shows? Tell us about those.
So the first TV show I was ever on was the Ellen DeGeneres Show.
Yeah.
And Ellen was hosting, I think it was 2017, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's when it was. And for being an 8-year-old kid from Missouri, that was definitely quite a culture shock, to say the least, whenever you go there. And it's just, everything's just so different.
Yeah.
And it was, they put us up in a really nice hotel, and there was a fancy car driver waiting when we got to the airport with our name on it and stuff, and it was just very, very shocking for a young kid like myself. And then after that, I went on to go on to Lip Sync Battle Shorties, which was a Nickelodeon show, where I wasn't actually singing, but I was lip syncing to Elvis. That was fun. Joe Silo and Nick Cannon were hosting that one. And it was really cool to get to meet them and everything. And we was out there for a week on that one too. Ellen is just like a quick day, you come back home thing, but the other one you shot all week.
Yeah.
And then I was on lip sync. I'm sorry, Little Big Shots. But it wasn't ever Steve Harvey's doing it. It's Melissa McCarthy taking it over for that season. And she was so kind, and that was a really cool experience as well. I actually did Jerry Lee song on that show. We did a whole lot of shaking going on. I played the piano, and they had an incredible all-female band behind me, and they were just awesome. It was so cool. And then for Ellen's farewell season, they invited me back onto the show because they invite all their favorite guests back on, and I was fortunate enough they invited me. And but Ellen wasn't hosting it at the time because they had guest hosts doing it because of all the stuff that was going on and everything. And Twitch was the host. He sadly passed away. I think last year, but it was really cool to get to meet him and be on that show for its farewell season. It was pretty special.
Yeah. Any interest in doing anything on the silver screen, acting, television acting, anything?
Maybe somewhere down the line. I've always been fascinated. I love movies, and maybe somewhere down the line that'd be something cool.
Sure. You got a natural comfort. The camera likes you. You got a natural ease.
Thank you, man.
And maturity, kind of that is, I think, probably is required. From what I've seen, you need someone who is like we just talked about. The intro. Yeah, I just said, "Hey, just do this," and you just did it. Like you weren't thinking about it, overthinking it. You weren't self-conscious about it. I can see you getting involved in something like that, and then add in your musical talent, and something special.
Yeah, that'd be fun for sure.
They need you to be like on the next version of the show, like Nashville or something like that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's why I was real little that came out. Yeah,
yeah, you can kill on that, man. Just you got a unique look, and you're talented. Yeah, that's awesome. What's the rest of your day like?
After this interview, you mean?
Yeah. What's the average day? With
planning
Finley
on
Watkins?
going to the bank, depositing some money.
Hey, all right.
Going to get some food.
All right.
And coming back home, I was actually working on before this interview, I was out playing drums. I was working on some tracks for my show.
All right.
I was working on some different arrangements for my 68 set that I'm cooking up.
That's awesome.
So I'll probably finish some of that up tonight. Respond to some emails and then maybe watch some YouTube and go to sleep.
Awesome.
And also I have 3 shows this week. I have 4th of July weekend, so I have an outdoor event in Arkansas on Thursday, and then going down to Arkansas City on Friday for another cool outdoor event, and then stopping by Memphis on the way home and playing at Marlowe's, which is something that's a lot of fun to do because the Elvis fans are always there. They're just always there, and there are people that have never seen ETAs before, but they're massive Elvis fans, and it's really cool. You get to do some more obscure songs, and it's a total different show from any other show I do. It's really cool.
How often do you perform at Marlowe's?
We try to do it once or twice a month, just whenever I can fit it in. Whenever I have an open date, I always contact them. They're really easy to work with, and we love playing there. And maybe do a Friday or a Sunday if I don't have a Saturday available. But yeah, it's just such good crowds for sure.
Man, something else, man. I really enjoyed learning a little bit more about you. Where do people find out more about you so they can come out and see you?
My website, finleywatkins.com, has my full updated schedule on it. We're always adding more dates to that. We have all of them from everywhere we're going. We're going to Louisiana later in the year, and all the festivals I'm part of and everything. Everything's on there, my local shows and all of it. And then also some more videos and photos and my bio and stuff like that.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Folks, I'll tell you what, keep your eye on this one. I have a feeling you're going to see him, and it might not even be in the Elvis Tribute artist world, but you're going to see this kid. Man, it's a pleasure. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, man. I had a good time.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Finley Watkins. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in this week to the ETA Files.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join the ETA Files community. And if you're looking for something a little different, be sure to stop by my podcast, The Ryan Files. Keep rocking, my friends, and I'll see you next week with another story from the Elvis Tribute artist world. In the meantime, check out these video links below.